Hello, I am Grace Harmon alongside HuskerOnline's Robin Washut as the Nebraska Cornhuskers defeat Purdue 70-56. Now, Robin, the whole performance was impressive from tip-off to the very end. What did you see from this team today?
Yeah, I mean, just the fight was incredible. Given the circumstances this team was in this weekend, you couldn't ask for a worse draw to start off Big Ten play, to play not only Indiana, Purdue back-to-back, but to do so with a road trip and then an afternoon tip, a road trip on Friday, night game, afternoon tip on Sunday. So essentially like barely 24 hours of preparation by the time you land in Lincoln to when you tip off on Sunday. I mean, that's as bad of a draw as you could possibly get. And for Nebraska, not only to handle that, but play the way they did. I mean, they took Purdue, Indiana to the wire. Probably, had a chance to win that game several times. Came up just short. So playing in overtime, that emotionally, physically draining game, and to come back and play for the full 40 minutes they did against Purdue is outstanding. And you cannot say enough about the effort these guys had. I mean, just guys like Cam Mack, playing 80 minutes in the span of less than 48 hours. Deshaun Burke, 73 minutes. Neve Cheatham is right up there as well. These guys are being asked to do a lot, and they brought it today. And they brought it from start to finish. Now, they had a bit of a lull in the first half, but they jumped all over Purdue, forced them to call timeout within the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and they set the tone right away, and they led for the final 25 minutes of that game. Now, it got a little close when Purdue cut it to one possession about midway through the second half, but Nebraska responded. They made their free throws down the stretch. They came up with big stops defensively. They held their own on the boards. I mean, look at the rebounding. This one of the best rebounding teams in the country against one of the worst rebounding teams in college basketball, Nebraska, and Nebraska only gets out-rebounded by 4. I mean, that you could not have drawn up a perfect script for Nebraska to follow, especially given the circumstances they were in. So, hat tip all the way around for Nebraska.
Yeah, and speaking of effort, Cam Mack becomes the first Huskers basketball player to reach a triple-double. He's only been here a couple of months. What does that say about him, how he's adjusted to this whole thing?
Yeah, well, we knew he had that type of ability. You saw it early on. I mean, even the exhibition against Doane where, he just does so much. I mean, he's obviously one of their top scorers, and his ability to pass is unlike any we've seen here in a long, long time. But then how active he is on the boards. I mean, with Nebraska's lack of post depth, those guards have to crash hard on the boards. And so he's going to have a lot of opportunities to get rebounds. And so just by nature of his role, he's going to put up numbers. And it wouldn't surprise me if this isn't the last triple-double he gets by the time he's done here. And, we said that back in October. I mean, he's just that dynamic of a player that does so much for this team that, when he's rolling the way he was tonight, and again, you got to keep in mind in the back of your head, he did that playing 80 minutes in 48 hours of Big Ten basketball. I mean, that's insane for him to be able to play like that. So, Cam Mack was regarded by this coaching staff as one of the best point guards they've ever recruited, and they've recruited some good ones, NBA players, and he showed exactly what that hype was all about with his performance today.
Very impressive performance all around by him. And so, Robin, this season looks a little bit different from a week ago at Creighton to even just today. Have expectations changed at all?
Maybe, but you look back 40-9 up in Omaha, that seems like an eternity, especially with the way they've responded the past couple of games. And so it's encouraging for sure, but again, it's a 2-game sample size, and this team has shown the propensity to be really, really good or really, really bad. And so consistency continues to be the name of the game for this team. If they can play with that type of effort that they've played now 2 nights in a row and try to at least keep that level on a steady basis, they're going to compete with everybody in this conference. Now, the wins might not come, but they're going to be in it. And I think as Nebraska fans, when you look at just the overall theme of this season of being developmental, just building the culture, on the court, off the court, these types of games are the ones that I think are the stepping stones that are going to take this thing to where Fred Hoiberg wants it to be when all is said and done. So as long as they're given this effort and they're playing with this type of fight and just desire and want to, it's going to be a successful season, especially considering just how bad things looked just a week ago. So like I said, a lot to feel good about right now. Now they just got to find a way to keep it going, especially with a couple of bye games coming in here to close out December.
Yeah, well, all around a fun afternoon here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Nebraska will be back in action at PBA next Saturday when they take on North Dakota. Well, for Robin Washut, I'm Grace Harmon reporting for HuskerOnline.com.